So Jeremy Ding, thanks so much for hopping on from. I always say it wrong. I don't know if I say it wrong. Is it Yuika or Yuka?
Yuka.
Yuka. Okay. So you give yourself a brief introduction if you like. Just so I'm pretty sure everybody knows you, but just in case.
Yeah, I'm Jeremy. I'm the co-founder here at Yuka. We started Yuka about 18, 19 months ago.
Okay.
So we started March 2024. Has been building this product for brands agencies to automate their affiliate marketing on TikTok Shop. So we're the first in the market and also the leading platform so far, working with thousands of brands on the platform. Yeah, I'm excited to jump on this podcast. Pretty
Yeah.
last minute.
I'm excited to chat. Yeah, exactly. It was pretty last minute. You hit me up that you were in town, so I was like, let's hop on the podcast.
Yeah.
So it's funny because obviously prior to the podcast, we were talking that my journey is kind of similar, at least
Hmm.
start time wise. I started TikTok Shop in March of 2024, and that's when you said
Yes,
you
yes,
started working on Yuka.
yes.
That's pretty interesting. And like I told you as well. So I started out as an affiliate back in March of 2024.
Hmm.
We launched our first brand in November of 2024. And like I mentioned, we tried getting some outreach bots, but some of them were trying to pretty much hack into my computer, have it running 24/7. I was like, okay, maybe I'm not doing that. But you
Yeah.
were one of the few that were actually out there still like really working on it really early on compared to like now. We're in 2026, 2 years in. So in a brief description, like the past 2 years, how has it been building Eureka? Because it's almost gonna be 2 years.
Yeah, it's been just wild ride, in this starting out, we didn't even know whether, TikTok will ban us, It's
Yeah.
pretty much hacky way to help sellers. And then I think July 2024 they launched the official API. So we started integrating with TikTok APIs, and that really helped us to kind of be more integrated or legitimate in this space, and like more sellers will be willing to use it
Yeah.
because it's kind of supported by TikTok. And towards the end of 2024, TikTok has some platform uncertainties, right? TikTok might got banned or whatever. Actually, they shut off for a day, right? So at the time, we were like, oh, whether TikTok's gonna continue, like all these brands are churning. I was like, what's going on? So that was a quite experience. And in 2025, I feel like we are just like continue to build like more features and think about a bigger picture here, not just TikTok Shop, and how we can bridge both like creator side and brand side, right? So you guys not just a tool for brands, we're also the tool for creators to help them to discover the right brand to work with, and then given the product, given the brand, what kind of content they should make to drive conversions on the platform. So we are thinking a little bit more broadly about how can we drive the total GMV, or like on the higher level, like can we be the platform that could drive a total GDP of creator economy?
Yeah, and that's one thing I feel like that's very unique about Yuka is that you guys focus on the seller, so the brand, and also the affiliates. Which, in my opinion, I think most probably focus on the brand just because that's where you get like the revenue from
Yeah.
for like the platform, right? But how do you guys focus strictly on, let's just say, increasing the revenue for the affiliates as well? Because that's a huge plus.
Yeah, I think the two problem we are trying to solve, like for affiliates, a lot of them, they starting out, or even they are like very sophisticated or established affiliates, they still like trying to figure out which product I should promote, right? I think the product selection is a problem for both creators and brands. So I think the lot of works need to be done on that side. Like given the data we have, we probably have the most data second to TikTok right now, right? Like how can we, based on data, recommend the right product for creators so that they have better chance to be successful on this platform? And then secondly, like given the product, given the a brand, what kind of content they should make, right? With their authentic voice to promote this product to get to drive performance for brand. I think those two things we are still working on right now. I feel like that's a very, very important problem to solve for the future of commerce.
Yeah. So I have some good tension points that we'll probably have between each
Yes.
other that you
Yeah.
made some claims in the past, and I think it
Hmm.
would be interesting to talk about.
Hmm.
So one of your claims was um, your software being able to replace agencies, and obviously, I guess as an agency owner myself, it'd be good to talk about. This was your statement. If we can make this tool so powerful that it requires very minimum human loop, then there's a world where brands can just use it, run with creators hopefully more brands will be able to take this in house without going through an agency in the long term. Which I would say my stance on it. I do agree. I do think there's a lot of agencies out there that probably just get Yuka, run it for their brands, and just charge like an absurd amount. And that's where it comes with like having good unique selling points in your agency. But if you could just expand on that statement, that'd be good to hear your thought on like agencies versus like sellers just going directly to the platform.
Yeah, when did I post that?
It was on another podcast.
Oh, okay. So I think my view towards this is that um, from our perspective, right, it doesn't matter, right? It's like brands or agencies, because some brands they just don't want to do this in house, so they wanted to have agencies kind of as their extension team. So I wouldn't just like say this agency and brands. I think it's more like just um, on that side of like marketer, right? It could be a internal marketer, it could be a external consultant, whatever. How can we build tools to enable them better to succeed, right? Um, I think our tool is for both brands and agencies. There are so many agencies using our tool. I'm not saying that we want to replace them, but like how we can empower them to do better,
Yeah.
right? And then eventually, if brands wanted to do it in-house, still, right, we can help them. So I think it's really on the brand side, like what's their strategy? Some brands want to keep pretty lean and they just wanted to have good partners to build out omni-channel. So I think for that statement, the intent is that hey, wanted to build something for good brands and agencies who really wanted to um, succeed in this space, but with some agencies they actually don't do too much work. I feel like those shouldn't. I mean, like they will be out of this like competition in the long run, because social commerce is involving so very fast, and then if you don't learn and involve, and then be really intentional in what you do, I think there is room that you will be replaced by tools, not just you got like so many tools are AI first, right? And then if your agency or brands are not adopting that or like learning along the way, I think that's just yeah, you're something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way I took it, to be honest. More like since I would say social commerce is still so early. There's a lot of people that just want to like trying to get a quick cash grab is the way I look at it, and probably they don't have like the best intentions, especially like thinking long term wise. So it's like taking out the people that have bad intentions and just the mediocre people, like specifically talking about agencies, is the way I look at it. Look at it, and either way, like you mentioned, it's for agencies and sellers as well because it's such an amazing tool. Where like if you're an amazing agency, it will just make your agency even better. If you're an amazing seller, it will just make your selling experience way better using Yuka and any type of tool like that as well.
Yeah, I think the future of agency will be more like strategic, and then they will probably able to use different tools to help brands, or the brands can learn from the agency. So I think it's more a collaborative environment. I don't think agency will quickly like disappear in this space by replaced by AI. I think that's just too exaggerate. It's just I don't see that happen in the near future. Yeah.
Yeah. And want to touch back on something you said earlier as well. Like we were talking about it, you said you focus on the sellers and also on the affiliates. And one thing, obviously, I think every seller knows there's a lack of affiliates. There's a shortage of affiliates,
Yeah.
especially great ones, right?
Yeah.
So I guess what's Yuka's way of trying to onboard more affiliates on the platform?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to first of all, we need to have really good brands to or products on our platform, and then we can use that brand and product and brand deals to attract cross-platform creators to join TikTok Shop. For example, hey, reach out to them on Instagram, YouTube, and to really show them like, hey, what has been working so far on TikTok Shop. Hey, so many creators on TikTok Shop have made so much profits and drive so much GMV, and you don't want it to be left out. So they're like, I think the majority of our recruiting or onboarding is to leverage brands we have. And then secondly, like given the brands, if the creators are already making content, how can we coach them or educate them to make better content to help them level up, right? We don't have enough level 3+ creators, and how can we use our tool to help them to make better content? I think there's a problem for us to all solve together. I mean, together with the platform in 2026 and beyond.
Maybe you don't know the number off the top of your head, but it'd be interesting just to say it for every seller, how or no, for every affiliate, how many sellers are there? So let's just say, are there like for every affiliate, is there five sellers? Is it 5 to 1? What's the discrepancy to sellers and affiliates?
Good question. I'm not sure I have that number top of mind, but have creators, I would say 3 million plus creators TikTok shop in the US. And then I think like revenue generating creators, probably I'll say 200K, 300K in Germany.
Very low.
Yeah, and then sellers, I think there are like probably millions of sellers right now. So yeah, the ratio I would say if I want to take a guess, probably 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, something like that.
Insane. Why do you think social commerce is undervalued right now?
Um, I think people just not understanding the performance-based creator marketing. Traditionally, a lot of creator marketing is like pay to play, flat fee based collaboration. But this kind of performance-based, commission-based collaboration really opened up the frontier where creators and brands can collaborate and have the same goal, right, to sell products or to drive results. Creators only make money if they can sell this product. So I think that kind of aligned incentives are very important. And um, and then secondly is just the content, the power of the content. If you look at Meta's Q3 earnings, right? Meta's watch time on the Reels are increasing so much, and then their ads revenue on Reels are just growing like crazy. Um, I think that proves one point, like people wanted to spend more time with content, good content, and the video is a very very important part of it, and it's still like growing. So I think that's the penetration of a short form video, even long form is still low currently. So as we have more AI tools, more AI generated content, I think that the portion will continue to grow together with like creators and create number of creators, number of good videos on any social platforms.
Yeah. And one thing I want to talk about is something that I've been like heavily focused on the past couple months, and I posted about it. Is talking about the halo effect. And I know
Yeah.
you have a pretty sweet feature in Yuka, so if you want, you could talk about it shortly. Then we go more in depth.
Yeah, I think Halo Effects is very important for TikTok Shop because it's not just a sales channel. More importantly, I think is a marketing channel for a lot of brands, and just the sheer amount of videos and the views there can drive actual incrementality, like new customers to purchase on your D2C or your Amazon is so powerful, right? If you look at our data, like once brands cross like 100K sales a month on TikTok Shop, you can see probably 20 to 30% increase across channels. So we wanted to build something for brand to really track, understand the power of TikTok Shop, and that's how we decided to build this measurement tool. It's not perfect yet, but I think at least that gives brands a understanding of the TikTok Shop performance across channels.
And it gives you a good idea, in my opinion, right? Especially for something that, like you said, I'm pretty sure it is very hard to track something like that, right? Because now you're talking about some like one marketplace to another. And if you could rank it, what would you rank TikTok? Would you rank TikTok as a platform? Would you rank it more as a marketing channel first, then a sales channel, or a sales channel first, then a marketing channel?
So far, I think for most of our brand is still a marketing channel, uh, primarily. But I think the sales channel part is like growing for sure for a lot of brands.
I've heard this a few times. I don't know if you can give your opinion on it, but some people say that you only capture about 20% of the demand you create on TikTok Shop.
Can you expand a little bit more?
Yeah,
Like,
so
yeah.
pretty much saying, let's just say if you, for basic numbers, if you create $100,000 worth of demand from TikTok, you're only going to capture 20,000 of it. Then the other 80,000 is going to be captured on other channels, which
I'm
will
not
be like
sure.
an
Yeah,
insane stat, I would say.
that's. I'm not sure where that number comes from, but I think that speaks to the halo effects, right? It could be like some brand like really drive a lot of like halo effects, like Goldie, for example. They just like capture so much awareness, both on offline and online, because of TikTok Shop. And for some brands maybe that's the good number, and but for smaller brand maybe there are like more things to capture on the platform than off the platform. It really depends on what's your omni-channel presence right now and your strategy. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I said. So like when I was hearing that, I was okay. Maybe that's true, but that's true if you're in retail, Walmart. Then
Yeah,
obviously all like the
exactly.
big three and stuff like that. The way I look at it, but like for us, for example, we're strictly focused on TikTok Shop and Amazon. That's it. So
Yeah.
like maybe like the 20% uplift is true, which is still amazing when you really think about it. Imagine getting a 20% uplift.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is you're double dipping. So you're putting work and effort into TikTok Shop. You're driving sales there, and you're also gonna get an uplift on another marketing channel, which is amazing, right? So I was like, I love the halo effect. I like that a lot more than like sales directly from TikTok, just because it's pushing the efforts to everywhere else. Which obviously, like, I think we could both agree that Amazon's more of like a trying to word this right. It's I wouldn't say more of a long term play, but it's very hard for you to drop compared to TikTok. I guess I'd say that because I know a few sellers that let's say they have some really crazy months, like a couple months after it's like a tenth of the percent of like what they were doing, right?
Yeah, yesterday I was attending. I was at this event held by TikTok and Amazon, and then Amazon is launching this like buy with Prime on TikTok. So like on the TikTok ads, you can click on buy with Prime and take you to D2C, and then you can check out from the buy with the Prime feature, and then they claim there's a lot of incrementality and increased conversion rate, that kind of stuff. So I think it's a good kind of demonstration of like this kind of cross-channel synergy, right? Like conversion probably is better at currently at least at Amazon or D2C, but awareness and marketing probably is good at TikTok right now.
Yeah, and I would say that's probably more for like the really big
Mm.
brands, just because once you're a big brand, you need to try everything, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, for the smaller guys, try to focus on one. But once you're a bigger brand, you should be running TikTok ads, you should be running JV Max, you should be on TikTok Shop, Amazon, DDC, and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Something that we try to focus on the most is like the cold start phase.
Yeah.
And I know you talked about it prior, and in my opinion, I think we agree a good amount. You said that for the cold start phase, how long do you think someone should wait to see if they found product market fit on TikTok?
Yeah, I had that interesting discussion with Zen. I'm like, hey, there's no clear definition of product market fit, right? Um, I think the best way to do it is to test and learn. Um, Maybe the good rule of thumb is like $2,000 GMV, right, on the shop. But you can do 2,000 GMV by investing at $10,000, but there's no product market fit there. But I think that good. If I would do it, I would say, hey, maybe launch this hero products on TikTok Shop. Give it 3 months, and each month you invest, let's say, I don't know, a few $1,000 just to test and see whether you could one a good response from the creator side, right? Secondly, whether the content resonates with consumers, meaning they will put buy from this videos or buy your products. And thirdly, it's just like um, whether your product will actually um, easy to make content. I mean, like probably that's kind of tied to the first 2 points, but yeah, maybe the first 2 points are most important, like whether creators are interested in it and whether consumers would like to buy it. And before you invest too much, just like have some threshold or milestone you wanted to put down. For example, hey, you wanted to 2,000 GMV in the first 3 months, and then you wanted to get to I don't know, maybe 500 creators who request samples, whatever, or 500 videos posted for your products, something like that. I'll really like honing into some early metrics just to you to get comfortable.
Yeah, and I think those early metrics are the best, just because at least like for what we believe in, like since we focus so much on the cold start phase, is that if you get a good amount of sample requests, that means, in my opinion, you already found your product market fit because
Yeah.
creators want it. Now
Yeah.
it's either like the value, so like either the price point, or you have to like perceive the value. So like change like the listing and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you could do to it, in my opinion. But if you get a good amount of sample requests, even if like they're lower tier affiliates, that's still amazing.
Yeah.
Because that means the affiliates want it, and the affiliates want it. That means the customers might want it,
Yeah,
right?
they will look at the pricing point. They will look at the reviews and units sold. So creators will actually they are smart. They are like a lot of good creators are very smart. So If you don't get response from creators, that means maybe something is needs to be changed on your side. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way I look at it too is you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out with TikTok Shop, right? Compared to let's just say Amazon. Like I know a ton of TikTok Shop brands that just have their product listed on Amazon, but they're not doing nothing, and they're getting that 20%, let's just say lift.
Yeah.
But there's no 20% lift if you're just focused on Amazon and you're pushing TikTok, right? Even for like bigger brands, we see some really huge, let's just say 8-figure brands on TikTok Shop, but they're not pushing it at all. They're not gonna start generating sales, so they might look at that sales channel and be like, okay, it's not worth it. But you have to put real time and effort into it because it's
Exactly.
a marketing channel first. Then it's a sales channel.
Yes. Yes. I think that's something that just like a lot of brands don't understand, or they don't buy in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like most brands need a run rate. Like, what's that run rate you think? Do you think it's 3 months, 4 months, 5 months to get out that cold start phase and really start rolling with TikTok Shop?
Yeah, I think the patience and expectations are very important to manage in the early days. I think 3 to 6 months are very reasonable from what we've seen so far on the platform.
Do you think there's any type of product that won't work on TikTok? That's CPG.
CPG product that won't work on TikTok Shop. Um, hmm. I think I can't say like some products is not gonna work, but I think like from the data we have, most of the generic product without good brand backing, it's really hard to drive. Like for example, the cup, right? There's so many like brands are selling cups on the shop, but if you don't have any like interesting design or branding or even like reputation behind it, it's really hard to drive
Yeah.
volume. So I think TikTok is still a platform that prefer like interesting, easy to make content type of like product.
Shout out to Frostbuddy, the killing
Yeah,
it with the cups.
yeah,
But yeah, you brought a good point. The way I brought it, I was thinking about when Sean from Ridge, he was saying that if anybody wants to launch a wallet, don't do it. It's the hardest business to do, right? But it's because now like Ridge is Ridge. Then you think about wallets, right? He built
yeah,
that branding, so like now the branding is
yeah.
amazing. But it's very hard. Like, so I think, at least my opinion was it. My opinion is that every product could work on TikTok Shop as long as like the price point makes sense, right? But I think any product could work. You just have to really dial down the marketing. Which if you have a product, you need to dial down marketing no matter what. So might as well dial it down on TikTok because that's the best place to test.
Yeah, it really depends on what's your expectation, right? If you just like want to drive like views for this generic product, you can do it. Conversion might be harder. You may not make money out of it, but you know, it really depends on what you want and how you define work or not. Doesn't work.
This is kind of off topic, but I was just
Mm.
thinking about it. How many founders you think are losing so much revenue by not making content, whether that's TikTok Shop content or just TikTok content themselves?
I would say probably 70-80% of the founders they they are not making enough content. Even though if I'm making content, even for us, I'm like we want to make more content about you guys. We are not really doing enough of that. Um, so yeah, I think that's definitely content is the king. If you look at Cooley, right, all these startups are doing so well, just with good marketing, good content out. Yeah, it could make a very, very big difference.
Yeah, it's funny because I follow, I think his name's M, but he owns Echovision.
Uh,
They do amazing. I think they did like $40 million last year on TikTok Shop. But he says that he earns anywhere from like 5 to 15 thousand a month in commission from like his own product, which is funny because like he's saying we have a ton of affiliates, but if I could make videos, I'll just make videos myself. And I
yeah,
think, in my opinion, I think you're double dipping. Anytime you could double dip. So when I say double dip, it's like okay, you're putting efforts into one thing, but it's also translating to another thing, which is amazing. So like he's making video, right, and he's posting his product link, so he's
yeah,
getting commission and
yeah,
he's promoting his product. And affiliates are gonna be like, oh, that's the founder, cool. Let me request a sample, and I'll start pumping it as well. Right? There's
yeah,
like so many. It's like there's almost no downside to it. So you should always make time for content, like you mentioned, like Cluely, a perfect example, at like a really large scale. They're
yeah,
masters at marketing at this point.
yeah, exactly. And then with AI, that could be easier for founders. So I would say just try to spend more time with tools and try to do it. Yeah.
I think this goes to like a perfect segue of the AI content debate.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, I think we both agree to the same extent, but what's your opinion on the AI type of content being made on TikTok right now?
I think some contents actually are converting. So I would say it doesn't really matter is AI or not AI. It's just like, hey, how good is this content? Whether normal people like you and me would like to watch this kind of content. If it's educational, it's funny, then yeah, I'll probably spend some time on it. So and then as the AI content is really hard to distinguish from human content, then I think this type of uh, AI content will be more on the platform. And I think from platform perspective, it's not a bad thing to have more AI content, but I think that would be really helpful to test and see whether this AI content will add like incrementality to the platform, right? Hey, where the watch time is higher, engagement is higher. I think for TikTok, they also like they're developing their own AI tools, right, and to help brands make AI content. So I think it's everyone is in this like testing phase, try to figure out what works.
For the consumer, how do you think that reflects on them? Do you think they'll one, do you think AI will ever get so good to the point where like the consumer won't be able to tell that it's AI? And two, do you think that the platform will have to label it as AI, which it is doing now for some videos, but you have that option, right? Like as of once you're posting a video, if you don't want to disclose it's AI, you cannot disclose it's AI. But right now, AI is still pretty bad to the point you could tell, depending who you are. If you're younger, maybe
Yeah,
you tell.
yeah.
But do you think people will see that and say it's labeled as AI generated? So at that point, like conversion is really bad if it's TikTok Shop, and like views are just really bad too, just because people just scroll because people want to see people.
I think there are certain type of AI content are one is very hard to tell is AI content. Secondly, actually they are converting. If you look at some of the slideshow videos, whatever, they are like doing pretty well on TikTok Shop. But you're looking at so I was referring to like faceless accounts or things there. A lot of content are AI content. But if you look at non-faceless content or human content, make content there, I think it's really hard for any creators to be replicated or even their avatar technology right now. I don't think is good enough to to promote a product or to sell on this platform. So I think there will be probably a few more years to be able to fully one click generate AI kind of influencer creator content. However, I think there's a sweet spot where it's immediately available. It's like, hey, maybe part of a shopper video or human creator video, part of it is made by AI. For example, there are B-rolls, whatever, made by AI and editing that kind of stuff. Maybe a few seconds are actually real human clips. So there are like some hybrid model there. I think is very maybe it's all like lot of content audit something like that. So I think that would be a good format to test. Yeah, for any brands.
Yeah, it's funny because just last year, like a year ago from today, I was not using no AI tools. Now I
Yeah,
have almost every AI tool in the platform.
yeah,
And like I'd say, would you consider yourself an AI tool?
yeah. We are definitely have a lot more AI stuff like developing or launched recently, and then that will be our focus down the road. Yeah.
Now it'd be fun to break some TikTok shop myths, in my opinion. So one of the biggest ones is that there's a view cap, I guess. So just for an example, let's just say if TikTok gives 10 million views a day to TikTok shop specific videos, that's the max a video could make. Is that true or false or don't know?
Definitely, there are like some operational levers that operators from TikTok side will pull for certain campaigns or whatever things. They used to reserve some traffic for shops. I think it's still there, but just like the percentage are going down, right? And then shop content has to compete with organic native TikTok content. So that makes affiliate content really hard to be surfaced by the algorithm. They need to compete on watch time, engagement rate, also conversion. So the on the affiliate side, it's going to be really tough to do all these things very well. And then on the entertainment or native side, it's like, hey, you just need to drive engagement rate and watch time. But like on the shop side, you need to drive sales in addition to those two metrics. So I think that's definitely something that they are still testing, and then try to figure out what's the best balance in terms of overall health of the platform.
Is there a sweet spot for how many videos you should post in a day, or is that just a lie and you could post one every minute if you possibly can?
I mean, still, I think that it's still a numbers game with a good quality bar. You can't just shit post like random videos, but if you're good creators, I think the more you post, the higher chance you have to be successful on the platform right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I agree on too. To be honest, like I talk to a lot of affiliates coming from the space, like a lot of killer affiliates as well. Some affiliates that maybe just post once a week and they do amazing.
Mm.
But I always just say if you start posting once a day, it'll be better. And like
Yeah.
obviously we have some internal affiliates that post, they just say 10, 15 times a day,
Mm.
which in my opinion, I do agree it's a volume game, but you still got to throw in some quality in there. But to get to quality, you have to go through quantity is the way I look at it.
First.
Specifically
Yeah.
when you're talking about affiliates, because it's like it's a tool, right? And it's you're mastering it day by day. So the more you do it, the better you'll get
Yeah.
compared to just like trying to learn it from watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. The best way to learn is by doing it.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
posting as many videos as you possibly can early
Mm.
on, especially as a founder, I preach it all the time. Even for like our agency clients, I try to
Yeah.
beg them, please just record some content and we'll post it for you
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a net positive for the brand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the platform also wanted to more have more content so their algorithm can work more efficiently.
So we've been talking about videos for the most part, just because obviously that's all TikTok Shop. But there's also another side of it, which I like to call the live stream side of it. And
Mm.
we tested out a good amount. We've been testing out like live streams on other platforms as well. How do you see the live stream marketplace?
What's your view on live?
I think
Does it work for your brands?
it works. I think one is still early.
Uh-huh.
I treat it almost the same as like TikTok Shop as a whole for like
Mhm.
brands hopping on the platform,
Yeah.
where maybe you won't get a return directly, but let's just say using like the Yuka Halo effect, if you get a 10% increase on Amazon, if you're doing it, let's just say $500,000, that's a good increase that makes it worth investing into TikTok Shop. So I think it's good for branding. I treat it more as like a customer support more than
Mm.
anything,
Mm.
just because we've had a ton of experiences to the point where like
Yeah.
someone's watching a video, they want to ask a question.
Yeah.
But if you have a viral video, it might have 5,000 comments.
Mm-hmm.
Your question's never getting answered.
Mm-hmm.
But if you click on the product and see that the brand's live, you go on it, you ask a question,
Mm-hmm.
the question gets answered, you pretty much convert them right away. But that sale doesn't count for the live,
Mm-hmm.
which sucks. So
Mhm.
I try to treat it more as like a customer service role. But overall, I think it works. One, most agencies do charge a good amount of money for it, which is like probably not worth it at a certain point, certain extent. If you could hire in-house for it, hire in-house. It's amazing because you could just have, let's just say, your marketer go live,
Mm.
right? If you're handling your own fulfillment, have your fulfillment go live. That's one thing I always say. Like
Yeah.
whatever you're doing, you could just go live, and it's just a net positive. Like Echo, for example, he just goes, he's eating and he's live with pinned to all the products, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
have the products as well. Don't get banned. But
Mm-hmm.
what's your viewpoint on it?
Overall, I think it's the icing on the cake right now for most of the brands. I think it only makes sense if you have some momentum already on the platform to kind of take the live into a mix of the strategy, right? For most of the brand, it doesn't really make sense at this point because one thing is just like doesn't make sense if you don't have awareness, don't have top of funnel um, um, presence on this platform. So I think for bigger brand, it makes more sense right now. And for my view on live is there's certain product as well, like for example furnitures and some like very hard to sample type of product. You probably wanted to have live as your core strategy, or even pay creators, right? Because organically you cannot give out so many samples. So that makes sense. If you have a warehouse of like selling chairs and stacks, desks, that kind of stuff, it makes sense for you to go live more and leverage creator, even like invite creators to make videos in your warehouse, something like that. So personally, I haven't really looked into the live that much, but just from what I have seen in China, um, um, it's I don't think US will get to that level of like penetration, right? 70% of sales on Douyin is from live, but here, uh, I hope we can get to like 30-40%, but I don't think we'll get to a 70%. And the most important thing, at least in my opinion, is the cost of host and shipping. In China, the shipping is almost free, right? That's the free shipping everywhere. But here, one, you cannot guarantee TikTok have the lowest price. Secondly, add up the shipping, the cost for consumer is a barrier for them to purchase right away from the live. 30 on the brand side, the host cost is high, and a lot of brands don't make money on live. So if the consumer not gonna purchase from your live, and you cannot afford those live hosts to continue to run live, and lastly, if you um, don't have enough momentum on the platform to do live, I don't think it makes sense for brands right
Yeah,
now.
I'd say like for a cold start brand, it probably won't make sense because, like you mentioned, it is icing on the cake. So, like, let's just say if you're a bigger brand, you should be going live like 20 hours a day. For example, a lot of brands are doing
Yeah.
that now. Just taking advantage, getting that icing
Yeah.
on the cake. And you brought up a really good point. Let's just say a lot of people probably say, a lot of brands say, "Hey, TikTok won't work for me because our average cost is $100." Okay, maybe you can't see that 1,000 samples, but you could go live, which potentially could work, especially for a higher cost product, which most live streamers are pushing those type of products. Like, let's
Yeah.
say e-bikes, for example, those are $1,000, right? And but someone's just going live and they're selling. So I think that's a perspective I haven't thought about really, especially because sometimes we get some brands that just really hard to sample. Because in my opinion, the way you win with TikTok Shop is send out 1,000 samples, and then hopefully in turn you get at least 1,000, 2,000 videos from those 1,000 samples, and then that's when you get like the real test versus having like some insignificant data where you send out 10 samples. Hey, it didn't work. Well, you sent out 10 samples. It's just not enough, right?
Yeah, and then just like consumer behavior, I think I forgot to mention is still waiting to be shaped, right? Like whether consumer will just like purchase from a live session. I mean, you'll get there. It will get there. It's just like, hey, people like start purchasing from the short videos. Uh, Now live is not just, it's just another level that people need to learn and to use. But I think the most important is the first 2 points: the pricing and the host, the cost and the quality of host are definitely not there yet.
Do you think there's a sweet spot price point to be on TikTok?
I don't think so. Yeah, I feel like TikTok Shop is trying to go up market, right? Yeah, you can sell $20 stuff and get pretty good impulse purchases, but I think eventually the platform wanted to compete with Amazon or like a bigger mainstream, not like Temu or Shein type of platform, right? Maybe in the near term, those lower pricing point ALV items still gonna sell, but I think in the long term, I doubt that will be the sweet spot for any brands.
In 2026, why aren't the 8 and 9 figure brands getting on TikTok?
No reason. I mean, like you should just do TikTok Shop. I think like if you are 8 9 figure, you have the resources. If you don't have the information or knowledge of TikTok Shop, then you should learn and start like really trying it out. Either using agency like you guys or have an internal team using our tool, whatever. And start playing with it. Because this is not just a sales channel. If you are the 8 9 figure brands, and you can treat this as a more of a marketing channel, you should. And then omni-channel strategy is very very important in 2026. If you don't do TikTok, I think you are kind of leaving a big portion of basically leaving money on the table, I would say. And all this content awareness, you can repurpose all this content to drive your meta ads and other channels. Yeah, I just need to do it. I don't think there's any reasons like apart from like you just being too lazy. I think that's just probably the only excuse.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I say like the biggest excuse is probably as well that it's just one, obviously it was gonna get banned. Now we know it's not gonna
Yeah,
get
that's
banned.
not yeah.
That's the easy one. Then also like you mentioned also like the Sheen comparison. I think now, especially let's just say with like the 10 figure brand Meta, for example,
Yeah.
hopping onto the platform, that really shaped and paved the road, in my opinion, to the point where okay, now I think it really works. It's 100%. Everybody should be on this. Like if you're not on, especially now in 2026, which is insane because it's almost going to be 3 years that it's been alive, right? I think it came out in November 2023, like early
Yeah.
Q3, right? Early
Mhm.
Q3 2023. Um, so if you're not on the platform, you're really missing out. Is the way I think about it because I still think right now a lot of people still treat it as it is like a sheen, especially when I talk to consumers. That's the biggest thing. So I have a lot of friends that, like impulse buy everything,
Yeah.
and a lot of my friends have not bought from TikTok Shop. So I was like, okay, damn, we're really early, which gets me
Yeah.
really hyped. I'm pretty sure you get
Yeah.
hyped about it as well
Mhm.
on how early we are, especially because we started around the same time. For me, I feel like I'm late. I'm like, damn, I should have started a Yuka. I should, Then I look at these brands. I should have started all these brands. But it's still nice to know that we're still extremely early. So if like, you're watching this in 2026, you're still very early to the platform to the point where nine-figure brands, eight-figure brands are looking at the platform and be like, it's not worth it, and they're leaving so much money on the table, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I think that social commerce is gonna continue to grow. No matter TikTok or why not or Snapchat, whatever things that you're thinking about. Um, I think the future of marketing is just omni-channel. The more you can do, the more automations you can adopt in your workflow as a marketer or as a brand, the more you can gain from just like increasingly savvy, tech savvy and consumers who spend more time online, and that's just the future. Yeah.
What's the future of Yuka? How how does 2027 look like for Yuka?
Yeah, I think for us, definitely wanted to hone in into our core of like AI and intelligence, really leverage our data to drive more better results and efficiency on both brand side and creator side, and then see how we can help brands to do this across platform, right? Not just on TikTok Shop like Amazon and D2C. I think this is still omni-channel strategy. The data are so intertwined, and creators are shared across platform, and content are shared across platform. So there's no there's a huge need here for us to tackle that problem right now. Yeah.
I'd agree. I think there's a huge need for affiliates and content posted in every platform, not just TikTok Shop. TikTok
Yeah.
Shop is nice because people could earn directly on the,
Yeah.
the platform, but people were always earning on the platform on any other platform. Let's just
Mhm.
say Instagram's a perfect example because let's just say if the brand says, okay, we'll pay you for every 1,000 views,
Mhm.
right? Obviously, that gets a little bit more tricky, and that's why TikTok Shop, in my opinion, really did it amazing
Mhm.
because if that order gets refunded, that commission gets refunded as well, right? So in my opinion, they mastered it great. But I think every platform and every brand needs a lot more content posted across everywhere. Obviously the
Exactly.
big advertiser is Meta, and that's always going to be the big advertiser. But I think in terms of organic, it's going to be huge in 2026 and going to 2027. And a lot of brands aren't taking advantage of organic just because they mastered paid already.
Yeah, exactly. I think just like even on the creator side, how many big influencers actually understand TikTok Shop, the power of like social commerce? Like just I don't want to be too like salesy, I don't want to promote this product, that product. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you might make more money, like just promoting, Medicure or whatever, right, on TikTok Shop uh, than Instagram. So I think there's just like a lot of information asymmetry right now, like even not just on brand side, on creator side, also consumer side as well. So I think it's so early right now. Yeah.
I think it's so early and it's showing signs of good good use, I'd say. Just because like when I talk to these affiliates, right, and sometimes I have a friend that's starting a new brand, is like he needs affiliates, so I message these really killer affiliates, and they're like, I don't like the product, I'm not gonna promote it, and right. So it's interesting to me how these affiliates are taking the stance of customer first versus one monetary first or like product first is the way I look at
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
right? Like they don't care if you're gonna pay them. They want to make sure the product's good. And I've actually seen some affiliates call out some of these brands, which is funny, like on their TikTok page and saying like, "Hey, I can't promote your product. It's just not right, so I'm not promoting it, and I'm gonna blast you everywhere."
Yeah.
Obviously
For
that
sure.
goes into the conversation, but I think it's showing the goodwill of these affiliates, showing that like not everybody's just up for the cash grab, right?
Hmm.
Like obviously they should earn money because that's the right, but they're still doing it with goodwill. So like in 5, 10 years, how TikTok Shop evolves and how just social commerce evolves,
Hmm.
there'll be good people promoting good products.
Yeah, I think like on the other side, discoverability of your product and brands I believe the more video or more content you post, the easier for any large language model like ChatGPT, uh, like Perplexity to catch. So I think that um, geo, I think is something that brands should think about. Like how do you do geo in addition to SEO, and really leverage content that you generated to drive that part. And it's something that we are still trying to understand, how to do geo better. But something is definitely coming in this space as AI and all this like LLMs getting more popular. Yeah, like people actually discover Yuga, like by just like ask ChatGPT. I'm like, oh wow, it's insane. Like
Yeah.
people are not googling anymore.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the interesting part. I'd say like we're really early with TikTok Shop, but with AI specifically, extremely early. Just like AI as a whole. I guess that could go to another question that I have that might a little bit off topic of TikTok Shop. Some really big brands, let's say some nine-figure CEOs, are saying that they think the future of AI is that you have an AI version of yourself that is buying your products. So it's not even you buying the products, which is very interesting. Then the other take is also that it'll buy your necessity products, right? Like what brand toilet paper do you use? Hopefully, Dude wipes. But what brand toilet paper do you
Two
use?
apps.
Doesn't really matter, right? What brand trash cans, trash bags do you have? Doesn't really matter. But for shirts, you kind of want to shop. You want that experience, right? So there's two sides of it. Talking specifically about AI, what side do you lean on more of, like the future of AI and the commerce as a whole?
Interesting question. I definitely pro AI, but I think there's a world. It's the both scenarios coexist. For example, I might have a shopping assistant or my personal assistant who does some of the non as fun type of shopping, right? For me, like buying like you know paper towels, whatever things. But if wanted to um, check out some cars, whatever, I might wanted to experience it, and definitely ask my AI assistant for advice. But I will be more immersed into this decision making shopping experience. Another thing is like in person shopping is still gonna be I think it's still going to be mainstream, right? You still need to wanted to hang out with your friends and family to go to mall or whatever, like to check out some products together. So I think like those three things will all like be the future. Yeah,
So do you think
in
AI
my
is pro humanity or negative for the human race?
I believe AI is net pause for humanity at this at this moment. I think just that you can see the efficiency gain and all this like tool actually being leveraged to you know drive results like a content generation, coding, SDRs. Um, but on the flip side, like what would you do like if AI has been so powerful and then you just sit back and like do nothing? I think it's probably not good for human being as well. So I think maybe there's a state where human is doing more of like creations or ideation type of work, and to guide AIs and robots to do things. So it could be an interesting future. Like how do you get paid and that kind of stuff, right? Haven't really thought too much about it, but I think that's an interesting uh, topic for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a net positive as well for humanity, just because, like you mentioned, in my opinion, it'll open up more creative jobs. It'll close down a lot of jobs, but a lot more jobs that we didn't even know we needed will open up just because of AI, which I think will be a net positive. Obviously, it's just like you mentioned as well, all these tools, like all these creator briefs, I used to do them by myself. Now I could do them very quickly with AI,
Yeah.
and the AI already knows me because I already gave it all the information about myself, all my
Yeah.
emails. It knows me more than maybe I know myself at points. You get me? So like, right now, it's really great. I'm just really excited for like the next year of like the AI and obviously TikTok Shop as well.
Yeah. Let's go to Mars.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
where could people find you?
You can email me at um, Jeremy at yuka.ai, or I'm on LinkedIn as well, Twitter. Yeah, if you want to find me, you can definitely find me somewhere.
A lot more content being posted in 2026. So, Jeremy, thank you for the conversation we had today, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.